Here's 10 things you can do to get rich. I've personally tried these myself and it's made me very wealthy. I've also spent a lot of time with a lot of people and I've categorized the things that they do that make them wealthy. So the first one is making sure that you create the great partnerships. They say that if you want to go fast, go by yourself. If you want to go far, you go together. And I think it's really, really important that when you start something that you make it a win-win. For example, when I started in real estate, my first business partner, he had a lot of money, but he didn't have a lot of time. He didn't have any knowledge. So I came along and said, look, you've got the money. Let me find the deals. Let me use my knowledge and my time. And then we partnered together. So that's how I built a multi-million pound property portfolio, because I was able to, again, work with somebody who already had the means to do that. Most people, they try and do everything themselves. The problem is if you try and do everything by yourself, it's going to be really, really hard to execute those ideas and to deploy it. Number two is making sure that you have a lot of joint ventures. So joint ventures is little projects. So again, when you're first starting off, you want to make sure that you are doing collaboration. Joint ventures is finding some short-term projects to partner together, which then lead into the big projects of partnership. So for example, in my events business, when I started a lot of online events and offline events, I found a lot of people who was already running events. And I said to them, can I be a speaker at your event and you can be a speaker at my event? This is how I get paid my keynote fees, because when I speak on somebody else's stage, someone sees me speak, they go, oh John, we'd love to hire you. And then we go and speak on their stage as well. That's what we call a stage swap. And what happens is when you do that, you can then form a whole partnership with multiple partners to be able to scale to the next level. This is why I can go international now in the US, in Asia, in Dubai, because I've got partners all around the world. And this will save you from having to do everything yourself. The third one, what I think makes a lot of people a lot of money, is advisor equity. So one of my business models is to advise companies, and in exchange, I get some equity. So if any of you are looking to grow a business to the next level and you love me to partner with you, then send me an email at contact@johnlee.com. What I love about this advisor equity is that when you go and you get paid, first of all, a flat fee, so a retainer, and then you get equity. The bigger the retainer that you get, the lower the equity that you get. The bigger the equity you get, the lower the retainer you get. So now you can kind of move that as a sort of moving scale depending on how much you do. Now the great thing about this, and the mistake that I made when I first got into business, is spending too much time with one company. Actually, what I should have done is spend all those years, 15 years, with multiple different companies. So now I can go in, dip in and out. Now the problem is when you start another business, you are in the business. We don't want to work in the business, we want to work on the business so we can scale it. If you can advise a company and you're able to get some shares and that company goes 100x, 1000x, some of them go crazy. I mean, you look at all the biggest companies that were once worth nothing, now they're billion-dollar companies. You've got to make sure that we want to look for the right companies, and that's one of the reasons why I like to create these videos. So maybe some of you watching this, you'd love for me to come in and advise some of your companies to really grow it to the next level. Number four is investing. So when you're investing, you've got the stock market trading, but then you've also got stock investing as well. And one of my billionaire friends taught me, he said, John, if you're going to invest in the stock market, there's really three things you need to think about: how to get in, how to get out, and then how to manage the risk. You see, the problem is people get out too late and then it dips, or people get in too early and maybe too early and it never goes. So you have to know when to get in and out, and you also need to manage your risk. Do you know a lot of people that have trading accounts, they actually blow the entire account within 48 hours. And there are actually a lot of software out there where when you sign up to the software, they will give you money to trade with. As long as you follow the rules, they will keep giving you money to trade with, and you take a percentage of that trading. So that's another great thing you can do. The fifth thing is angel investing. Angel investing are check sizes between 10,000 to 20,000 to 50,000. You might have a lot of friends who've got some great ideas and they go, John, I've got this incredible idea, but I need some money to get it off the ground. If you can get in like a pre-seed round where this is like angel investing, you got in. Now here's the thing, you might not have the money to angel invest into a company, but one of the things that you can do, you can go in and you can say, look, give me allocation, I'll get the money, but the money that you bring in, you take a portion of that for yourself, and you're upfront with that. A lot of people are happy for you to do that. I get a lot of people that reach out to me and say, hey John, you know, obviously these are bigger amounts like 5 million, 10 million. And if you don't have all the money to put in at that time, then you can raise it. That's why you should always hang around people who are looking to invest, and you can be the person that scouts the deals, you get the deals, and you take a percentage of all the investment going in, so then you don't have to put any money in yourself. The next one, number 6, is undervalued assets. So I don't know if any of you saw my previous video where I talked about, I basically held up a Rolex watch and I said, how many of you would give me a £10,000 £1,000 for this Rolex watch, and it was worth like 15, 20,000. And if you didn't see that, by the way, it's a powerful lesson about value and understanding value. I'll pin a video around here so you can check it out. But what I realize is that there are a lot of undervalued assets out there in the world. For example, real estate. There's a lot of properties in central London that are below market value. So you've always got to keep your eye on it. Do you know one of the first properties that I bought was on the market for around 150, 60,000 because it was a bit dilapidated, so it needed work. But the market value of all the good condition properties were about 185. So I bought the property for 85,000 and I resold it for 185,000 in 2 months. The power of that is that you only need 1, 2, or 3 of those deals, even if you did 1 a quarter. If you're able to earn that much cash, a lot of you watching this, you can actually quit your job. So that's why I think looking for undervalued assets like in real estate, also in website. For example, there's a lot of blogs out right there that have a lot of traffic. So I had someone come to me recently say, John, my blog gets all this traffic, but the problem is all this traffic, they're not able to monetize it. But if you know how to monetize it, you can then take that traffic and then you're able to monetize it. Do you see how this works? It's kind of like when you make a decision to buy a yellow car and you're driving around and you see that yellow car everywhere. That's what we call our reticular activating system that shows us to our present that it exists. I've been buying Lamborghinis since the age of 27. I can tell you that every single Lamborghini that I've bought, I've made money on them. Because why? If you buy the rare ones, then it has residual or intrinsic value that a lot of people can't see, but you can see. Number 7 is looking at something like Web3 or blockchain. So if you look at all these companies now are currently moving into that space. In fact, a lot of the big companies, they are putting a layer on top of it. So a lot of you who are transacting, you don't know you're actually transacting using that company's coin. Do you remember the times when people were giving pizzas away for like Bitcoin? It was insane. I'll give you another example. I had a friend of mine invested in a Solana coin at 11 cents. And then I think she exited around 120. She made millions from that. By getting into this space, you're able to then work with people where you get that first person advantage when you know that company's gonna take off. This is why I love to advise into companies. When you advise into companies and they go into that space, guess what? You get allocation, and your allocation per coin might be 1 cent. And then when it goes out to the public, everyone starts buying it and then it might go to $1. So if it's done that, it's gone up 100 times. Number 7 is recurring business models. Let me tell you something, the effort that it takes to sell something once and get paid once, it's the same effort that it takes to sell something once and get paid over and over and over and over again. You know, I get to hang around a lot of millionaires, billionaires, people who are really successful at what they're doing, lots of different fields, whether it's bricks and mortar business or an online business or a service-based business or investing business in Silicon Valley. And people always ask me, John, what can you create to really help me do that? When we're talking about creating recurring models, there are different types. You've got a community model. If you're part of a community, you can actually chuck up a really quick site, and then there's some software you can use. Maybe I'll do a live demonstration of this in one of the future videos, but you can literally chuck up a community and people will pay to be part of that community. Second thing is you could have a software. So if you use something like bubble.io, for example, right, you can create a piece of software together. In fact, even AI will write it for you as well. So you could create software and then sell it. Third thing you can do, you can create some kind of service-based business, some kind of coaching, for example. People keep asking you questions all the time, then you can charge for your time. And you can also do this with products or services. Like if you look at wine now, you can order wine on subscription. So subscription is the way forward. And why is subscription so powerful? Because anything that company makes, let's say it makes $1 million a year as a normal company, you can really sell it for like 3 times, 4 times that maximum. But if it's a recurring model, it's predictable income, it's worth 10 times, 20 times because it's got predictable income. That's why any business you have right now, you want to really consider turning it into a recurring business model where people pay. And if you can't do that, then you create another thing on the side and then you adapt that to the company as well. And number 9 is distribution. This is one thing that makes a lot of people rich. If you look at something like Alibaba on the 11th do a massive launch and they can make like 40 to 50 billion in 24 hours. Why? It's kind of like when Black Friday happens. The Black Friday, bang, and then everyone goes out and buys stuff because they've got distribution. If you want to be very rich, you have to have a lot of distribution. Think of Apple, for example. Every time they open a new product, whether it's a new iPhone, new MacBook, new screen, new watch, whatever it is, they can have millions of people purchase in one go. And if you look at someone like Tony Robbins, for example, I remember just watching one of his videos, and at the time there was like 250,000 people watching, and he was selling like a book or something, or a course. And you have 50,000 people that buy something. That is one to many selling. So here's the secret. Find other people who also have distribution, and then you can partner with them. Remember, number one, I talked about partnerships. All these things you can put together and it'll really grow to the next level because you're able to compound it together. If you love this, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below to say you've just watched this. I'd love to meet some of you in the comments as well, because I always personally reply to the comments. And also as well, if you'd love to learn more about this, we run virtual events where you can attend from anywhere in the world. We do them live on Zoom. If you head over to johnleeevent.com, or you can click the link in the description, my link tree, it'll have all the details. We also have some gifts in there for you as well if you want to kind of get to that next level faster. And the last one, which is the most important one out of everything I'm talking about right now, if you do this, watch how your income can double, triple, and 10x over a number of years. Number 10, personal branding. Look at someone like Elon Musk. Elon Musk doesn't really need to have social media following, but he does. He's got millions of people, because why? If Elon says, hey, Dogecoin's going up, Dogecoin's going up. There's one thing more powerful than having money, and that is influence. And really what a personal brand is influence. There was a guy who he loved this stock and he just created a YouTube channel. He just kept talking about, hey, here's the stocks I'm investing in. And all these people start watching his YouTube channel. He started to invest with him. I think it was like $25,000, but it ended up being millions because everyone kept following him. He had influence. Now, of course, there's certain rules around that, what you can and can't do, but at the time, that just shows you the power of something, that when you have influence, you have distribution, you have a say. When I'm talking about things that make people rich, I spend a lot of time with people, and if you look at some of the new business models that are working in today's market, like what's really working right now? Some people say, John, is it online business, offline business, stock trading, is it real estate? Like, how do you create more wealth? Well, what I'll do is I actually created a whole video. To make sure you check out the videos here, and you can learn more about some of the new business models for 2024 and beyond, but also to make sure that you are focusing on what's working in today's market and be able to understand the value. And I'll link that one here as well. So check out these two videos, and remember to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me with the algorithm. So when I post them, you'll be able to see it. And also, if you know anyone who really wants to get rich and there's a science behind it, copy the link and send it to them on WhatsApp, send it to them on social media. I'd really appreciate that. Again, for me, I really want to put the content out there to really help you get to the next level. But check out these two videos here right now, and I'll see you on the next one.